I couldn't find your bird.
I love it.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So I found a different bird, but then I like flowers better. So I did this. Oh, very nice.
You've been busy.
Yes, it was very meditative.
Well, after I watched on Tuesday morning, I did some painting in the afternoon. So,
You did?
yeah. I went back to work on, I don't know if you remember it or not, I just kind of got a sort of a start on it. And I thought it was absolutely cool to see everybody's work.
Yeah, I love that. And we're another idea that got prompted from all these discussions is we're going to have a virtual gallery on the website. So if you have something you're working on or want to post some artwork, I'd love a landing page for all our artwork to get people motivated and inspired.
You all come over on my phone as a full screen, and I just see myself as a little picture up there. You'll see me as a full screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
mostly we see ceiling, but you know, we do see your head.
You see me bobbing. I'm
Bobbing.
multitasking. I'm walking on my treadmill. I've been drawing every day and working on my portraiture. And I saw your bird video yesterday, Sandy. And I'm feeling kind of birdy. But I can't leave my portraits just yet. So,
Are you
but I'm looking
going
forward.
to share some of your artwork when you're off the treadmill tonight?
Yes, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'm at 1.5 miles. I got another half mile to go.
No rush. It can be on the checkout, but I got to see it because we did a private session and it was fun. But I got to see it. I'd love for them to
Okay,
see it.
Pam here.
Yeah.
I finally got it so you can see me instead of the ceiling. So. Yep, I see you.
Oh, and I see a pencil. There's a pencil
I'm
in your
ready.
hand.
Let's go.
And that's your check-in, right? Enough of this talking. We're drawing.
Look at Pam. Pam is like showing off. She's got the pencil. She's got the picture. She's ready to go.
So these are the sketches that I did of the picture. So that's what we're working on, is just capturing very simple landscape sketches. So it's talking about what you want to keep and what you want to leave. So that when you're walking out in nature and you're capturing just with the pencil, not just your camera, what is it about that moment that made you take that picture and what you want to leave out of the picture because it's not as important. And everyone here has had that struggle who's drawn something in nature, because we tend to put everything in that we see when we draw or paint until we start to work on what we don't need, and we simplify to bring out either the concept, the feeling, or the subject. I collected, I don't know, it's maybe eight or 9 pictures off the internet, and I glued them in here a little bit larger than I would do a thumbnail sketch.
Okay, Sandy, so the purpose of your study journal is to go out, do studies, make notes, get your pictures, and prepare for what you'll do back in the studio?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. It also applies to projects you're working on. So this doesn't have to just be, so if you have some projects, so I will go through and look around, see if I have my journals. I've got like a stack of 3 journals I carry all over the place. And if you go through them, you'll see like something stuck in here and here and here. See, I've written in there. And what that is something I definitely knew that I wanted to incorporate in a piece of artwork later. So it almost becomes this this little sticky note filing cabinet for me, and that's how I personally use it. So it's more than just the sketch journal.
She said that one of the things that she does is she always writes down 1 or 2 words of how she felt looking at that scene, you know, and that if she gets stuck in working on her project, she goes back to those words because that's what she felt looking at the scene, and that's what she wants to convey in it. and that helps her to keep from getting lost. And, you know, get excited about that. And so, it's kind of like the path going back and stuff like that, but it's just the way that the shapes work together. But I often lose the feeling in that.
So without the value study, she loses that sense of subject and composition. Like what do you want me to look at? So for her, if her value study, if I don't see where her values are, where her composition, her focus is in her value study, which is generally a mess, it looks like a mess. A well-done value study will likely look like a mess.
Yeah.
But if I can't see where she's headed in that, then I know she's going to struggle when she goes to the paint.
And I think landscapes are particularly difficult with that because most of the time they're all green. You know, I mean, the trees and the vegetation and the grass and the this and the that, you know, it's, unless you've got really strong elements in there that are a different value, you know, whether it's buildings or people or whatever, it's really easy to not have it play well on paper.
Yeah, so that's why let me do a sketch. I'll do a thumbnail sketch on the one that's fairly simple we're going to work on. I have people that first start the studio. Notice the sky and the land. How much sky and how much land? Because then we're drawing what we see, not what we know. Very often people will draw in the middle. So it's straight here, and then you lose it here, so you don't have the information. So I'm going to stop right about here, which is right here. You see how helpful it is to have this little book to start marking right here and make some notes on where you want to put stuff?
So it looks like it's divided in quarters, kind of. The sky, then a space, then the path, then the flower area.
That's the first thing you want to do, where some people start with the horizon line and they go right in for the trees because they're there and they make sense.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to simplify it in watercolor, but tonight we're just going to try and get some of this linear perspective in so we can plan for a watercolor tomorrow. But this is an important V because this is part of the composition. I've got I lost a little space over in here, so I'm probably going to end up shaving this tree down. Went a little bit too big so I can get some of that yellow space back. Again, this is all me observing this landscape for the first time. The tree just got smaller. The V works for me. This is a hill line, so I do the hill right through the tree. And now I think I'm going to start putting in some of the value. I'm going to leave some of those spaces so it makes sense to me later. Here's going to be like the middle dark value with a little bit of a dark line underneath, and then a middle value right here. You can already see the distance is pretty well planned out. It doesn't need to be any more than that, just a couple of scribbles. I've exaggerated the value just a little bit to get the distance. When I come up into the foreground here, I'm going to want to start with some of these directive lines. So there's a directive line. But those are my planning lines. So I want to be important. I want to remember that I want those in there. They're going to be bigger in the foreground and they get smaller as they go back. Right about here, I'm going to draw a little line so I remember. They don't look like circles anymore. So from here to here, those flowers are nothing but value and color. And then make sure that I clump them together because they are clumped together. They're not polka dots all over the place, but I am going to get just a little bit of value on the path. Just so it reminds me that that's the path. That's part of what I like this piece. I have enough information on there that I know exactly how I want to start planning which colors, which values, which techniques, which textures are going to go where. And it's so small that you can't get a lot of details, so you tend to not spend too much time on it.
Right.
Not that what you're doing, you're warming my heart by drawing while I'm talking, so.
Okay.
And I generally recommend doing 3 to 5 of them.
Okay, all values, all the color.
Just line drawing, line drawing, line drawing. Then on your last one that really feels good, or whichever one feels good, like it feels like that's your plan. Then do your values on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it hard to get out of your head every time you do it to not just create the same thing?
Yeah, and that's why I corrected myself. It's very often not the last one. It's either the first one or the second one that you end up going with the value. And then when you keep on doing more observation, you get more in your head and more in your head. And that's part of the observation process.
Okay.
You're seeing more and more, and then you start to think more and more. And then just pick one of the ones that you did the simple line drawing, and then go on that one and do the value scale.
Sandy, so we're carrying, you know, for sketch, you know, I know you guys are painters, but this is all as much for graphite as it is for paint, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's just carrying over, and so when you work on it, you take your notes, you do your thumbnail sketches, you go back for your final project. You have all your values studies, and all the information that you need in your sketch journal.
Yes. So I think the only color I'm missing is the blue, but that's a pretty simple color palette right there.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know anything about like values. I didn't have a clue what she was. I mean, I figured it was color, but then I got confused. So all of that was new. And the whole sketch, it was all new. Very good. Very good. Accomplished.
I liked your thumbnail. You know, I really do. I try to use the thumbnails, but like I said, you know, a lot of times I get too caught up in the detail of it. I can leave things out, you know, and I've gotten better at that. You know, everything that I see in the landscape doesn't have to be in the painting, but I'm not as good as at, you know, like when I asked about those green spaces, and, you know, to not carry through with that. Because you could actually put more flowers in there.
Yes.
And change that up.
Yeah. If you don't commit, but just important to keep those perspective lines in there, because that's likely what I liked about that landscape, is there was a natural sense of line bringing you back to the path in the background. So the plan is done, so we can actually get right into the watercolor tomorrow.
So would you do that like on the opposite page, or?
No, I'd go right in the watercolor paper. Go ahead, Mitch.
So you're not putting finished products in your sketchbook then?
No.
Okay, so it's strictly your field study.
Yep, and everything you put in there, you keep in there.
It's a reference. Everything is a reference. I'm thinking that I just think as many tools as I can put in my pocket are only helpful, you know, and I love the idea. I have a couple beautiful landscape and sunset photos and all kinds of things that we take on vacation. And, you know, Bill and I are constantly talking, oh, wouldn't that be fun to paint? Wouldn't it be fun to draw? And then, and, you know, from nature, from the things that we see. And it's nice to be able to see where to start. Now, I know you've also mentioned, and I have one actually, I got with a bunch of other art stuff I bought, was the little viewfinder.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it before,
okay, that's one.
the viewfinder, but that little hole right there, if you can see that little hole, that's for finding value and isolating a color. And that's why this is gray, so you're not seeing white or black or a color. This is a middle value. So it can help you find value, and it can help you find isolate so you can see a particular color. And then you can decide if you want to do a piece portrait or a landscape by just doing that. It's rarely going to be a square.
So
Uh,
my takeaway is you've been talking to me about value on my watercolor. And so every opportunity I get to hear more about value is helpful. So, and I've figured out that I can actually, where is it? There it is. I can draw with my blender. So there is, I did a little more blending, did a little fog.
There you go.
So,
Nice.
fun.
Beautiful.
yeah. So anyways, that's my takeaway.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you drew tonight. Oh, you made me so happy.
The thing I found most helpful was to see the entire process, like
Mhm.
from why you chose a picture, and then how you did the thumbnail, and then how you did the value, and then why you kept it all in your journal, and how.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Oh, I missed it.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
you
fabulous.
talk so I can see it.
This is the one I'm working on.
Wow.
This is my husband's Aunt Irene. God rest her soul.
What's your tool for the hair?
Oh. My electric eraser.
Really?
Magic. Yes. It's called put in the dark values and then lift out the light ones with this.
Wow.
Like the
Wow.
best kept secret, I'll tell you. My husband looks at this and all I've ever said to him is, it's all smoke and mirrors, All right, you crazy kids. Now that I'm done with my treadmill, my husband's coming home with the pizza.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks,
All right.
everyone.
Sandy,
Bye.
thank you. Have a good
Thank
night.
you. Have a great night.
You as
bye-bye.
well.
And say thanks, Karen.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night, everyone.